Unicorn Overlord is going to be one of the most underrated games of 2024. As I speak, the demo has been out for a week or so and I really can't get enough of this game. I literally took my Switch to work the other day to play in secret during any downtime I had. This game is absolutely fantastic. So buckle up, ladies, gentlemen, and unicorns of all ages, and let's talk about why this game is so good, and why all Fire Emblem fans, and heck, SRPG fans in general should drop what they're doing right now and go download the demo. Seriously, we're like 3 days out from release. I literally see you right there not downloading it. Go download the game. Anyways, I will say, when I initially saw the trailer, I was like, hey, that looks like Fire Emblem. Blue-haired lord, check. Jagan, check. Dead and or missing parents, check. Runs away to a foreign island after an evil dude takes over, check. Wait, is this just Marth and are we doing a reskin of Shadow Dragon anime here? Nah, I kid. It is very easy to draw a lot of parallels, but this game is super unique in its own right, so let's dive right in and see why all Fire Emblem fans should play Unicorn Overlord. I think one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, when talking about a game is gameplay. Unicorn Overlord is both unique and very diverse when it comes to the way the game is played. The game steers away from the turn-based, grid-based format that we're used to in a lot of SRPGs and instead adopts a more free-flowing combat system that occurs in 2 stages. The first stage is the map stage, as I'll call it, and that's where you move groups of units across the map based on their leader. Each movement type has their own movement speed, each leader has their own different leadership skill, and they move across the map and interact with enemies at that speed and with those specific skills. The enemy team will also consist of similar groups of enemies that also move across the map, and when you and an opposing team collide, it's battle time. Prior to the battle, the game lets you adjust your unit formation, but then you jump right in and units within each squad take turns based on their initiative level, and they fight each other. Initiative is very much like a speed stat. The higher the initiative, the sooner you go in the turn order, and it's as simple as that. Unlike Fire Emblem, this game has an AP, or action point, and PP, or passive point system. Each unit can have up to 4 AP and 4 PP, and they use them to carry out various different actions. Generally, AP are your active skills that a unit will use themselves, whereas PP are passives that trigger based on specific conditions being fulfilled, such as a counter, mitigation, or tanking skills. I could go on and on for hours and hours and hours regarding the intricacies of the combat system in this game because it's just that deep. From items that give you new skills, more AP and more PP, to the ability to choose exactly how and when your units use said skills, to the different team interactions and layouts. Trust me, it's all content for future videos and I won't leave you hanging here. But for now, that's all I'm going to say about the combat system itself. It's very diverse, you've got a ton of units, you've got a ton of team comps. Just jump in, enjoy it, it's amazing. In terms of the overworld gameplay, you've got a vast world that is instantly available for you to explore completely. If you can survive or run away from the overworld battles successfully, that is. There's a ton of hidden items, accessories, and even weapons for you to find, side quests to do, characters to recruit, and side battles to beat. The first thing I did in my second playthrough of the demo was just run around the entire world, find all the secrets, find all the goodies, just unlock all of that, and then I took my time to do all the battles. Every area that you liberate has a town or two that unlocks shops with more gear to buy, and even some secret islands to explore. The game feels like a combination of a traditional SRPG and a regular RPG with its overworld exploration, which is quite fun and refreshing. In this manner, from some of the side battles, the game also throws a ton of recruitables at you, each of which has their own lore and little background story on the maps that you get them in. It's yet to be seen whether or not these will be brought up in later segments or side quests, but honestly, I don't think that will be the case, and I'll touch on why in the story segment of this video. However, this game does something interesting in that it also allows you not to recruit said units. Instead, if you opt for the quote-unquote bad ending on these maps, you will be given a compensatory reward in the form of items, accessories, or even armors and weapons. It's a nice little trade-off for missing certain recruit conditions or even just not being interested in a unit or wanting to see the bad ending just for the sake of it. In order to make up for that though, this game allows you to recruit almost fully customizable generic units. By that, I mean if you unlock the relevant fortress from liberating areas on the map, you can recruit unit classes that way. Each unit you recruit will let you change its growths, its color scheme, its voice, and select from a list of available names. It's kind of unfortunate we can't just type out names on our own, but it is what it is, I guess. In some ways, these generics feel even better than the main cast because you can tailor-make them to your advantage right out the gate at minimal cost. You can do this with the main cast, by the way, but it requires a rare and expensive item that you probably won't get very many of. So save this for your favorites. You want to change their hair color? You can. You want to change their growths and stats? You can. Just not that many of them. In the demo, there's only one available to buy and use, and one you get from the main campaign at the end of the continent. So I'm assuming there's like 5 continents, maybe we'll get 10 of them, or something like that. All right, let's talk about the story, because you all know I'm a huge story and character guy. And, well, it pains me to say this right out the gate, but this story is rather simpler. There's nothing wrong with it being simple. I know it's only the demo, and because of that, things can definitely change further down the line, but here's a quick synopsis. Your main character is the prince of a central kingdom on the continent called Cornea. Your mother is the queen who gets betrayed by one of her generals who goes evil and takes over the kingdom and then the entire world afterwards. You, the prince, are carried away by her most trusted knight and live in seclusion on an island until you grow up. During these 10 years in seclusion, you're trained by the knight and you live in peace until the island is threatened by the enemy. If this sounds familiar to you, that's because it probably is. It's almost identical to the start of the story of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, and anyone who's a regular on this channel knows how I feel about that story. Anyway, you and your early band set out to liberate the country and then the world from the Emperor's evil clutches, and off you go. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to judge this story quite yet because a lot of games have humble beginnings early on, and then some of the plot twists and the intricacies get explored down the line. I'm gonna have to give it a fair shot and see how everything pans out, but I'm not really holding my breath for it to be Xenoblade tier levels of story. What I will say is that it's nice to see all the mini stories of the individual characters in their chapters, like I mentioned earlier, and how they've been affected by the rule of the emperor who's taken over. It's like a little encapsulation inside that country of what's going on within each domain of that person. Some of them are royals, some of them are mercenaries, and it's just a little, snapshot into the day-to-day life of those characters. I feel like this may be a bit limiting though, as rather than have a continuous story for each character or having them continue to be involved, we just explore their area, we learn about them, and then we move on. And that's kind of a shame because I do like to see characters expanded on later on down the line and having them integrated into the story. There are, of course, some regulars, your companions, that will probably be recurring in the main story cutscenes, but that's about it. Another thing to touch on here is there are a lot of characters, and just from the demo, you get 26 recruitables in this one country. I don't know if that's going to be the case for each one. That would mean there's over 100 playable characters. I think that the cast is probably closer to 60 to 65. It's a lot of characters. So it's a good thing to have a lot of characters, a wide variety, a lot of uniqueness and some depth, and being able to compensate for characters that maybe you've missed. But there's no way they're going to be able to flesh out everyone. However, to compensate for that, support conversations between your units exist, and they're called rapport here. I guess because the demo is kind of limited, I haven't been able to dive too deeply into these, but at the very least, they seem to give some background story on these characters and how they knew each other in the past, kind of like in Fire Emblem. Just a couple quick examples that I have. Morden and Berenice knew each other back in the day, so they have a conversation about some of their ideals and how they view their roles and what they hope to gain from this. And Berenice goes on about how the Morden I knew wouldn't fight for free, and then Morden's I'm not fighting for free because one day Elaine will be king and I'll be lying in a bed of gold, or something like that. So it's just a little bit of a description about the characters that you get a little bit of extra on, and I know these are just the early tier conversations. Maybe down the line they get a little bit deeper and you learn a bit more, but it's kind of hard to judge support conversations at this point, or rapport. The one between Clive and Elaine is a history lesson about Elaine's grandfather, and they kind of walk around the map while doing it, so that was a nice little touch. Elaine sort of admits he knows very little because he's grown up in foreign lands and stuff like that, so there is some character development in these, and I do look forward to seeing how they go further down the line. I think I've said further down the line 1,000,000 times at this point. Maybe I should change that. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. The most important thing in games like these to Fire Emblem fans is the waifus, and the game isn't shy about telling you that you start out with a ring. I'm assuming, my contacts have told me that there will be romance options at the end of the game, and you do give them the ring. So that's something to look forward to as well. I don't know how deep it is, but it's there. It exists. Have fun. The one negative thing about the support conversations that I have to say is that none of these are voice acted. It's just a shame, but I guess maybe they didn't have the budget for that, or whatever. All right, so one of the final things I want to touch on is the music. You guys know that I always love to talk about music. I'm not this big music fanatic and critique, but I like nice music, and from the start, the music comes out with an absolute bang in the prologue demo battle. I'm sure you've all heard it. It's really, really good. But after that, kind of in the first chapter, it gets a lot less dynamic, and it's far more subtle. It's very peaceful almost, which is weird to think you're liberating a country from the evil emperor, and you're kind of just subtle foresty music while you're walking around. It's a little bit weird. I will say it's not quite my vibe, but I'm assuming that with each new area, we're going to get new music because there's very few tracks in the demo. So, little bit disappointed on the demo from the music perspective because it was just very repetitive. But if the prologue is anything to go by, we will have bangers down the line. And I'm saying, I can't stop saying down the line. God damn it. Anyways, yes, I think this game is an absolute banger. I've been having a ton of fun with it. I've done 2 playthroughs of the demo. My second playthrough has 10 hours and 15 minutes on it, and I'm still not done running through it. I've got like 50 minutes on my timer to do more stuff. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be making videos on this regularly from now on. If you want to hear from me about it, then please leave a like and subscribe and a comment letting me know if you're going to pick this game up or not, or even if it's nice to see me back. I don't know. Say hi. I'm coming back from a long hiatus, and I'm going to need all the help I can get with the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, help me out, guys. I'm back. We're going to be diving more in depth very soon with some more mechanical aspects of the game, so stay tuned, and I will see you all in the next video very soon.